I used to try to fit in, odd man out. I could never conform, I'm a standout. Trying to be like them, it never panned out. I took a
What's up? Welcome back to Beauty for Ashes. It's your girl Toya, and I'm back with another video for y'all. What's up with y'all? Y'all had a good week? I had a good week. I'm glad it's Friday though. Glad it's the weekend. They talking about a blizzard, but I think we could get like this many inches this time, so we might be good to go. So anyhow, we've been wrapping the last few weeks on what we talked about last time. The red flags. Stop ignoring the red flags. I hope y'all listen to that video. If you haven't already, go back and listen to it. It's a gem. So tonight, is it time to cut them off? Is it time to get them scissors and chop, chop, chop? Well, you don't really chop, chop with scissors, but you know, is it time to when do you know? All right, so I'm pretty much addressing the dating scene. So when you're dating somebody and you're in those early stages where, you know, you're still trying to learn a person, y'all still getting to know each other, you're still trying to figure things out. But as you're dating the person, you start seeing the red flags, as we mentioned the last time. All right, so similar to my other videos, I'm always going to say, listen to your intuition. If your gut is telling you that you need to cut somebody off, first and foremost, go with that, because you're not getting that feeling or that knowing for no reason. So first of all, go with your gut instinct. If it's telling you something's not right, then it's probably not. So then also be honest with yourself. So a lot of times in the beginning when you're first dating someone, I feel like you get little signs and indications that it's probably not going to go where you want it to go, but we ignore it because we want to be in a relationship, we want a significant other, we want to get married, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like initially, I know when you're getting to know someone, you don't really know what their character is, so you don't know if they really a certain way, or are they putting on the front. Like, you know, it takes you a while to kind of feel someone out, but I feel like once you get a pretty good idea or a sense of who they are, then you can know what their patterns are, you can know if they move in different things like that you'll start to pick up on. So that's one of the other things, like if they start doing things differently. So initially when you first start dating them, they're all into you, they're showing you attention, they're consistent, you know, they're pursuing you, just different things like that. And then all of a sudden it switches up. Now all of a sudden they don't have time, they busy, they unavailable, and it's just like an instant switch like that. Go ahead and cut them off. I'm gonna say you the time and agree. Cut them off, because if somebody is interested in you, they're gonna continue with that. It's not gonna stop. And like, nobody's ever too busy. As I mentioned previously, if somebody's into you, they're gonna make the time for you. So it's no need to even like let that situation linger on. Like, that's an early sign that, like, all right, they switched up too fast. Like, if you already switched up in like 2 weeks or 2 months, then what you go do in 6 months? What you go do in a year? So cut those losses early. The other thing I would say is that if you don't have peace about a situation, like if you just, you know, have an uneasy feeling, like you just not really sure if everything is adding up, if the math is mathing, like my daughter like to say. So if the math not mathing, you have an uneasy feeling, you don't have no peace about the situation, go ahead and cut it off. Cut it off early. I'm telling you, you don't want to let these situations linger. You don't want to waste your time with people that's not going nowhere, and that's not going nowhere with you. They're just wasting time for whatever reason. You may be a placeholder, you know, meaning that you're just around until something better comes along. You just never know what their intentions are. So when you pick up on this early stuff, you just want to cut them off like quick. Like, I know people give people chances after chances after chances, because, you know, you just want to believe the best in people, and that's a good trait to have. But when you're dating people, like, it's too many other people out here to date to invest that much time and energy into somebody, and they playing games, especially super early on. The other thing is, like, if somebody is not on the same page as you, they're not really trying to make a commitment. If you know you're looking for a relationship, you know you're trying to get married, you know you want to, you know, have a future with somebody, build a life with someone, and they on games, like, why even waste your time? If out the gate they either tell you they're not looking for anything serious, or their actions is showing you they're not looking for anything serious. If somebody's ready to settle down, if somebody's ready to make you their main chick, then they're going to show that to you. They're going to let you know, not only in their words, but in their actions. So if they're telling you like, oh, yeah, I want to be with you, but they're not showing you that, and if you have to question it, then cut them off, because That's another thing. That's what I used to have to go through all the time. It's like, I was like, do they like me? Are they feeling me? Are we together? Are we not together? Like, if you gotta ask yourself all these questions, no, you're not. No, they're not feeling you. They're not into you. Because when somebody is into you, you make it known, like, all right, ask yourself, when you're into somebody and you're really digging them and you really like them, what do you do? I know men and women operate differently, but what type of characteristics do you display when you're into someone? Like, I feel like there's some commonalities across the board. Like, yes, we're not going to be exactly the same, but if you're digging somebody, you want them to know you're digging them. You want to show them, like, hey, I'm interested, I'm invested in this, I want a future with you. So you're going to make sure you dot your I's, you're going to make sure you cross your T's. You don't want to mess nothing up. So just kind of think about that in the reverse. Like, so when you're with somebody, they should be doing that same thing. They should be putting that same type of energy into you. So if they're not doing it, you know what I'm going to say? Cut them off. Cut them off. Cut them off. I'm going to make a new rap song called Cut Them Off. Maybe. Just joking. Maybe not. The other thing would be, like, if they're doing stuff that's just suspect. So anytime somebody start raising suspicions early, so basically, you know, if they normally go to work, okay, this is an example. This is a real life example. I actually didn't go through this, but somebody else I know did, right? And this is some small, so you have to pay attention to it. But all right, they leave the house, right? And normally they go a certain way to work. But then when you look out the window, they start going the opposite way. And it's like, it happens like every day. So it's like, okay, so where are you going? So if your job is this way, now all of a sudden you're going that way. Like, what happened? What changed? So, you know, when you start noticing little changes like that, or normally they got to be to work at 10 in the morning, but all of a sudden now they got to be there at 8 in the morning with no logical explanation. Like, oh, you know, I felt like I should just start getting to work early. But you don't even be putting in the work like that. You be lazy. You be playing on the job. So I know that you're not going to work early. Like, something is at work that's making you go to work early. You know, things like that. Like, we've all been through little things. Like, those are just a couple of examples. But, you know, whenever things raise suspicion to you, if it just don't sit right with you, if it don't sit well in your spirit, don't ignore that stirring. Don't disregard it. Like, all of those things are signs and indications that this ain't the right one for you. So it's time to cut it off. Like, you don't have time to be guessing and speculating and wondering. It's just too early on. And like I said, the dating pool is too big. I know women, we've convinced ourselves, well, it's more women to men or whatever the case. And that may be. However, it's a whole world of guys out here. And there are a lot of single available men. You may haven't looked in the right places. You may just haven't met the right ones yet. I don't know what the case may be, but don't limit yourself in the mindset thinking that there's such a limited number of guys, so you have to just settle for what you have. Don't ever settle, because you'll never be satisfied in that. You'll be content in the moment, but in the long run, you'll be disappointed and you'll be so mad that you wasted your time. Also, like, what does that person bring out of you? Are they pouring into you, or are they draining you? Are they making you negative? Are they making you angry, bitter, defensive? Like, are you worse off because you're with this person? Like, you know, are they bringing out the best in you, or are they bringing out the negative and crazy? Because, you know, people tend to do that. You get with certain people, even in certain friendships, they tend to know what buttons to push, and it brings out like the worst in you. So you don't want to be with somebody that every time you with them, you on 10, and y'all always arguing and fighting, and it's just like a real dysfunctional, toxic relationship. Yeah, that's another thing. Yes, toxicity. Toxic is not cute. A lot of people think like, oh, well, this is just our cycle. This is just how him and I do. But it's nothing cute about toxic or dysfunctional relationships. Anytime that you constantly beefing with somebody and y'all back and forth, breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, none of that is cute. Just cut them off and be done with it. Like, it's 2022, so I got to talk hard to y'all. That's what my son said. Why you talk so hard to me? I got to talk hard to y'all so y'all can listen to what I'm telling y'all. I be spending this game for free because I ain't monetizing yet, but I'm going to be. And then y'all could be like, yo, she told me back in the day when she was on that YouTube channel. So I'm telling y'all got to follow your gut instinct. Look out for the early signs. Look out for the red flags. Look out for the suspicious activity. When you lose your peace, if they're like not making you better, they're making you worse. Like, if they just not in your corner, they don't have your back. If you're the one, if you're giving more than you're receiving, that is another one. Don't stay somewhere where you're not getting at least what you're putting in. Like a relationship should be at least even, and not all the time it will be at the same time. Relationships go through cycles, but you should at least feel like you're getting as much as you're putting in, you know. Definitely if they be lying, if they be doing a lot of lying, sneaking around, cheating, if they just not showing good character, period. If they don't have integrity, you know, like if you're with them and you catch them in a lie with somebody else, even if they don't lie to you directly, but you just notice they always be lying, or they always be like just displaying like a bad character, even if it's not towards you, it's only a matter of time. So you have to take those things into account. So when a person show you who they are, believe them. Like, I know that's cliche, but it's mad true. If somebody's showing you different signs, that's obviously who they are. So anyway, guys, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet to the point, but those are just like a few things to look out for. That's how to know when to cut somebody off, and you want to cut them off early and cut them off fast. And I know what you're going to say, but what if I cut them off too fast? What if they was the one? What if I messed up? What if I made the wrong decision? You didn't, because you wouldn't be watching this video if you made the wrong decision. Obviously, they didn't put you through enough stuff. They didn't raise enough questions. They didn't raise your eyebrows one too many times. So with all that being said, you already know before you even watched the video, before I told you it was time to cut them off. So don't play no more games. It's 2022. We over that. We moving on to bigger and better. Greater is coming. Your boo is coming. Your man is coming. Your husband is coming. Speak it, claim it. It will happen for you. Do not settle for anything less than God's very best. All right. I hope y'all like my video. Please share it. Subscribe to my channel. What else I want y'all to do? Leave me some comments, all that good stuff. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next week with another video. Deuces.